Oh Lord, we need your word.
Proverbs chapter 24 and just the 8th clause of verse 16. Proverbs chapter 24 and just the 8th clause of verse 16. For a righteous man may fall 7 times and rise again. May Lord add a blessing to the readers and hearers and the faithful doers of his most holy and righteous word. I want to preach from this subject, bounce back and thrive some more. Bounce back and thrive some more. I want to tell you something that you might not know. Righteous people go through things.
All right.
The text, the word righteous, of the Hebrew word sadiq, it implies that a person is just, ethical, and moral. And so the text tells us that this just, ethical, and moral man or person, this person has a right standing with God, but according to the text, a righteous person will fall.
All right.
Now the idea of falling here is not necessarily about physical stumbling. In the text, the word fall is from the Hebrew word nafal, which means to encounter failure and setbacks. And so what the text tells us is that the righteous, the just, those who are ethical, those who try to follow God, those who are living for God, we will experience some setbacks. We will experience some failures. And so don't allow yourself to be caught up in this idea that you must be doing something wrong if you're going through some experiences that you don't quite understand. And what's interesting here is that the writer of the text really gives us some important emphasis on this idea, because what I find here in the text is that there's sometimes we don't realize it, but we fall often.
All right.
It's not just a one-time occurrence. Sometimes we fail or fall various times in 1 week. Various times in 1 day. We experience setbacks, and it's not something that we can control. You can't control your failures, and you can't control your setbacks. What's interesting to me is when we look at this idea of encountering setbacks, one version of the Bible says that a righteous man falleth 7 times. That means that it's often. It means complete. Until God gets the glory, until God finishes his work in us, we'll go through some different experiences. What it means is that we'll go through some things often in our life. But the good news in the text is that conjunction and. It's something powerful about that, because something that comes after that gives us some assurance. It said, and rise. All right, and so what we got to get here is the word rise from the Hebrew word come. It means to bounce back and be reestablished. And so what the text is telling us is that it's not just a physical rising, but it's a spiritual thriving. In other words, thriving is not just a singular one-time occurrence that stops just because you experience a setback. I just messed some of y'all up, because some of y'all think that just because something happened in the midst of your thriving that you can no longer thrive in that area. But the lesson says that although we fail and experience some setbacks, that don't mean our thriving stops, because thriving is a perpetual and constant state of being for God's people. So despite the setback, God people will always bounce back and thrive some more. I just tried to influence somebody and encourage somebody to understand that you can be thriving and something can happen and make you feel like you're no longer able to thrive in the moment. Setbacks come in various forms. Failures are not distinct to one measure. It can be in various forms. It could be that you were going along just fine and all of a sudden you just got sick. that can be a setback. You were doing well, and everything was going pretty good. Then all of a sudden, some unexpected bill. It's not the ones we're comfortable with. We know the rent bill. We know we got to pay the utility. Those of us who have a car note, we know we got to pay the car note. Some of those things we don't really get too phased about that, but it's that unexpected stuff that just kind of mess up your budget. You know, you already budgeted for this month, but it's some stuff that pop up, and you know, the car breakdown. You didn't budget that for January. You didn't budget the car breaking down for in January. That wasn't on your budget. You didn't budget that, but it's a setback. Because now you got to try to figure out what's going on with the children. All of a sudden, they start acting out. There's some stuff start happening at the school, and now you got to deal with your children. And now you're trying to deal with all of this other stuff. You got rejected in some way or another that you weren't expecting. Something just came up out of nowhere. You experience a setback. Setback can be something that happens all of a sudden on the job. You didn't expect them to have to start shifting and changing stuff. You just got comfortable with this doggone program and platform. All of a sudden they change. You know how it is, Michelle and Lulu in school. You know, y'all got y'all curriculum and y'all the Board of Education. Now they act like they got thoughts and amnesia. They're just shifting and changing stuff. Just in the middle of the school year, you in college and you doing the best you can, and all of a sudden some crazy stuff start happening, and now you get behind on your studies, you get behind on the things that you were doing, and it causes you to experience a setback. In the end, your relationship, y'all will thrive.
Bishop.
You and Boo. Y'all proud. And now this month he decides he want to act up. You know, this month she decides she want to act up. It could be anything. And it can be a setback. Anything that interferes with your thriving could be considered a setback. But I want to preach, sweetie, to the people who need to understand that you don't need to feel discouraged because you experience setback. Here it is. If you're righteous, if you're in the right standing with God, if you're ethical and moral and righteous, it didn't say everybody gonna bounce back. It said the righteous. Y'all gonna catch up in a minute. Those of us who are righteous need to understand that although we experience a setback, that don't mean that we gonna stay back. I wish I could preach this the way that I feel it. I need you to holler across the church. Just because I've been set back don't mean I'm gonna stay back. Y'all ain't saying nothing. I need somebody to understand that folks that counted you out, they think you ain't gonna make it. They looking at what happened. They looking at how all of a sudden you ain't thriving like you once were. And Monica, they got the audacity to think that just because you've experienced a setback, that means you're gonna stay back. But I got good news. Got good news for the righteous that just even though you're set back, it don't mean you gonna stay back. And one thing I need you to understand is that for the believer, setbacks might happen, but we'll always bounce back. Yeah, would you do me a favor and say recognize you in bounce back mode. I feel like I need you to encourage yourself, because if you don't encourage yourself in the moment, you're going to start feeling like you can't recover. But I need you to say recognize you in bounce back mode. understand that everybody ain't gonna like your bounce back. And so because everybody not gonna like your bounce back, the enemy will use the opinion of people to cause you not to recognize your bounce back. Because sometimes when you bounce back, it don't always be recognizable to the naked eye. Y'all, I feel that. See, Fred, sometimes the bounce back start behind closed doors. The bounce back start within. The bounce back start with God reestablishing you in the way that He sees fit. And so sometimes it'll still look like to folk you failed. It'll still look like to people you in a setback. It'll still look like to people that you're no longer thriving. So what you got to be able to do is understand that in order to bounce back and thrive some more, you got to make thriving intentional. Okay, here it is. You got to see it. The word in the text it says that you shall rise. The word rise is used to symbolize an intentional and deliberate action to change positions. If you're down, you got to get up. If you're in a setback, you got to bounce back. You got to change positions. There's too many people who strive to survive, but don't strive to thrive. People love to survive, but they fail to live well. Some of you sitting in here with me in survival mode, and you've yet to graduate to thrive mode. Because you're existing, but you're not thriving. And what you got to do now is you got to understand that thriving for God's people, it don't give us no option. It don't say that the righteous fall and they might. It don't say that the righteous thrive and they can make a decision to. It says that the righteous will fall and rise. And so what you got to understand now, people of God, is that it's not an option for you to bounce back. Because if you're righteous, Bruce, you ain't got no choice. What am I talking about, Tweety? Bounce back in your DNA and you don't even know it. Bounce back all down on the inside of you, Jack, and you don't even know why. Something in you right now, Sister Calhoun, that's got you wrestling. Cassandra's got you wrestling. You know you ain't supposed to be sad this long. You know you ain't supposed to be in grief this long. Right? So it's something bothering your spirit because, lady, you know that things are supposed to be a little bit better. So, Fred, there's something God does on the inside, AJ, that won't let you settle in being mediocre. You see, Keon, you don't like mediocre. You got to thrive. It's just something about you, Lulu, that won't let you settle in mediocrity. You got to thrive. Somebody say, I got to thrive. I ain't got no choice. Don't hate the player. Hate the game. I is who I is. I got to dress like this. I ain't got no choice. Y'all ain't saying nothing else. I got to bounce back. I ain't got no choice. I may lose the car, but y'all watch me in a few months. I got to bounce back. I ain't got no choice, BC. I ain't got no choice. Yeah, y'all see me crying. Y'all see me in grief. Y'all see me going through my setback. But you got to keep watching. I ain't got no choice. It ain't my fault that I'm righteous. And that God don't keep allowing me to bounce back. You don't like me. You don't like the way I dress. You don't like the way I conduct myself. You don't like certain things about me. That's all right, honey. That's perfectly all right with me. But what you're talking about is my thriving. What you're criticizing is my thriving. When you say she thinks she all that, all you saying is she thrives. So next time somebody say, oh, you think you something, say, yeah, I'm thriving. This ain't no accident, Kirby. Ain't this sexy by accident. Y'all ain't saying nothing. I need to talk to the folk who feel real established in who you are. Because God made you who you are. I'm not this well off by accident. I'm not blessed like this by accident. I'm not blessed in highly favored by accident. I got to thrive. See, Lady Lula, you couldn't stay in the corner.
Come on now. Come on, teach Bishop.
It's impossible for the righteous to remain in a place where they can't thrive. You got to, I wish I had somebody. You can't stay broke. Y'all ain't saying nothing. You can't stay broke. Even if you tried to stay broke, God wouldn't let you. I wish somebody paid attention. Money just be coming from all kinds of directions. Jobs be calling. You ain't even trying to change. Headhunters be calling for me. You got to thrive. Oh, that's just who you are. The enemy wants you to stop thriving. And so he wants you to procrastinate under pressure. Wants you to pause in your pain. Wants you to be stripped by your struggles. And wants you to hesitate in your heartache. Wants you to succumb to your circumstance and remain a product of your problem. The enemy wants you to become characterized by your setback. He wants you to be limited by your setback. Wants you to stay down. Wants you to stay defeated. Wants you to keep hurting and stay the victim and keep thinking about how bad you feel. The enemy don't want you to live beyond the point of your last setback. So the question that has to be answered is, are you now the victim of a new setback? Or are you still the same? Of a 2 or 3 year old. AJ, is this new grief? Just asking a question, Fred. I ain't trying to give you business. Is this a new setback? Or are you still the same victim of a year old that you never intentionally bounce back from?
All right, Bishop.
Because, Kasi, you decided that your grief was greater than your greater. So you decided that being a victim was better than being victorious. That the tragedy made more sense than the triumph.
Wow.
That the dilemma became more prominent than the deliverance.
All right, Bishop.
And so what we've got to ask ourselves today is, am I intentional about staying set back more than I'm intentional about bouncing back? The question that you've got to ask yourself now is, what is my intent? Today, in the moment, what's my intent? Do I intend to stay set back, or do I intend to bounce back? So if you don't make bouncing back intentional, if you don't make thriving intentional, you'll will stay in the place of the setback. And so now you got to understand that whatever happened, you can bounce back from it, but you got to make it intentional. I don't care what it is, you're going to bounce back from it. You're righteous today, I got your announcement, and I'm going to give you your announcement. I got your victory announcement. You're getting ready to bounce back. You already in bounce back mode. Y'all ain't got to say nothing. I'm only going to talk to a few people. Yeah, go on through the surgery. You already in bounce back mode. I'm just talking. But Jones was in bounce back mode when he laid down on the operating table. Because the righteous was going to always thrive again. Y'all ain't saying nothing to me. It was already done. You didn't have to really worry about it, so you can understand that if you still grieving, if you still mad and upset about how somebody treated you, because somebody don't want to be with you, because somebody broke up with you, you don't bounce back from a messy relationship. They ain't got to want you, because God got somebody who wants you. You got to understand that you can't lose yourself in somebody. Gotta understand this. I know this is tender territory because you loved him. No, this is tender territory because you gave your all to her. And so when it happened, it broke you. Now God's sending you thrivers. And you renege on the thrivers because you're still in love with the setback. Hey, I'm inside. This ain't even on my notes. This thing gonna get crazy if it ain't on my notes. I don't know where I'm going. But you got a right to bounce back. You got a right to be profound, prolific, progressive. You got a right to be everything God called you to be. You got to understand that you can't stay lost in a setback because you're too resilient, you're too relevant. It's something too special about you. You're too blessed to be stressed. You're too equipped to be whipped. You're too empowered to be devoured. You're too legit to quit. You got to open your mouth to say, I'm in the progress. I'm in the process, rather, of my bounce back. Somebody says, self. I'm in bounce back mode. I'm getting ready to bounce back and thrive some more. In order to bounce back and thrive some more, not only do you need to make thriving intentional, but you also need to make thriving inspiration. The text uses an interesting word again. It's an interesting word because it means to be inspired to do something over. I like this because what it says is I'm doing something that is inspiring me to be in a process of being mentally stimulated to do something that feels better than where I am. And so I'm inspired by the concept of knowing that when I bounce back, I'm bouncing back with new inspiration. So maybe I learned something when I failed. I learned something when I experienced the setback. I learned some things, and now when I bounce back and I'm reestablished, I got a whole new mindset. I got a brand new inspiration. You got to get this because when you experience setbacks, it introduces an opportunity for a new inspiration. In other words, your inspiration is enhanced in the pronouncement of proactive faith instead of reactive.
Come on, talk your time.
And so, Lulu, what happens is when I experienced the setback, and I was able to bounce back. Now, Kiasha, my mind helps me understand that I need to be proactive in trusting God instead of always being reactive. So therefore, I'm inspired as I thrive to know that if something happens, I'm already all right because God already promised that I will rise again. And so my faith is already proactive, and I'm decreeing every day as I thrive, no matter what happens, I'm still going to be all right. Because God has already proven that he don't always be with me. So I'm inspired by the fact that God is who he is. Therefore, if I experience a setback this time, my attitude is going to be different. See, if I get broke this week, my attitude is different. If something crazy happened this month, it's all right. Because my attitude is different. I understand some things a little bit better now. I'm not the same way that I was. There are some things now that I understand that have to happen. And now I'm inspired because of what I've already went through. Therefore, I understand how to go through. And so there's no way for me to expect to stay down if God won't let me stay down. God is doing something to get you ready to bounce back. God is doing something right now to get you where you're supposed to be. So you got to get this in your spirit. God is already working on your bounce back. I know you're waiting for the bank to call you back. Don't worry about it. You're waiting on the job to call you back. I know you're waiting on something to shift, something to change. You're waiting on something to happen. You're waiting on some physical thing to happen to prove that you bounce back. But can I talk to a few of you who need to know today that you already in bounce back territory? That it ain't even manifested in full yet, but you already in bounce back territory. I really wish y'all would get this. You ain't even all the way healed yet, but you already in bounce back territory. You ain't even got beyond the scope of whatever's been bothering you yet, but you already in bounce back territory. Can you recognize that God is already up to something, and you got to get this in your spirit? God's plan gonna move you into a place of destiny. I want you to say out loud, God up to something good. You got to be inspired by the promise of God. If you can't think of nothing else, remember the last promise you remember God made to you. If you can reflect on the last promise, that ought to be enough for you to say, I'm inspired on my journey because God ain't through with me yet. I wish somebody open your mouth and say, whatever God intends for me gonna happen. Whatever God intends for me is gonna take place. Wherever God wants me to be, that's where I'm gonna be. Whatever God wants me to do, that's what I'm gonna do. Whatever God wants me to have, that's what I'm gonna have. Y'all ain't saying nothing. I wish I had a few people in here who would say, I'm gonna be everything. I'm gonna go everywhere. I'm gonna have everything that God intends for me to have. So I'm not gonna be overwhelmed by the setback, because I realize now that I'm always bouncing back. I want to announce now that despite the setback, you can bounce back and thrive. God ain't the rule.
Come on, work, Bishop.
Blessing you.
Work now.
I'm preaching to tell somebody that you got permission to bounce back and thrive some more. As a matter of fact, I need to tell somebody that you getting ready to thrive on another level. Don't worry about the setback on this level, because you getting ready to leave this level behind. Don't worry about the issues on this level, because you getting ready to leave this level behind. Get ready to experience the greatness of God in a whole new light. You think you've seen everything that God got for you. But the word said, eyes have not seen. You think you done heard about all the things of God. But the Bible said, ears have not heard. You think you can think about all of the things that God gonna do. But the Bible said, it ain't even been thought of all of the things that God got in store for you. So you get ready to bounce back on another level. Your career is getting ready to thrive some more. Your family getting ready to thrive. Y'all getting ready to thrive some more. Get ready for increase like you never experienced before. Do me a favor, y'all, and decree out loud and say, I'm getting ready to bounce back from every setback. Do me a favor and say, I thrive beyond my pain. Say, I thrive despite my struggles. Say, I thrive despite my trouble. Now do me one more favor, and I'm going to leave y'all alone. Somebody open your mouth and say, I'm getting ready to thrive. Some more. Y'all do me a favor and just begin to raise your hands up and say, I'm ready, God. I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. I'm ready to bounce back. I'm ready to thrive some more. I need about 5 of you who believe you in bounce back territory to give God a bounce back praise. I'm getting ready to show somebody that you're getting ready to experience overflow. Keep on pressing your way. You getting ready to experience increase. Keep on pressing your way. You getting ready to walk in the favor of God like never before. It's already done. You can believe the promises of God. If God said it, that already settles it. Don't you worry if you experience a few failures. Don't you worry if you experience a few setbacks. Get your mind right. Get your heart right. Get your head in the right place and stop dwelling on the setback and say, God, I'm getting ready to bounce back and thrive some more. Shake somebody's hand and say, you just shook the hand of a thriver. You just touched the hand of a miracle. You just touched the hand of somebody who walking in favor. You just touched the hand of somebody who been down before. But I'm getting ready to bounce back and cry some more. I'm getting ready to trust my God on a whole new level. I'm no limit God. God can do anything, but it sure won't fail. Can I tell somebody, don't limit God to your setback, because God gonna let you bounce back. God is greater than the money you make. God is greater than the house you live in. God is greater than the car you drive. Please don't settle in material things. Material things may wash away sometime, but when God gets ready, everything that you're supposed to have, God gets ready. So here's what I found out, Angel. I'm glad about the car I lost because it gave me the car I got now. I'm glad I got the setback on the old job because all God did was let me bounce back and thrive on a new job. I'm glad about the issues that happened around me, because if it had not been for the layoff, I never would have stepped into my favor. If it had not been for the breakup, I never would have stepped into my favor. Is there anybody who can say, God, I thank you from every setback. I'm bouncing back. Is there anybody who needs to understand that your setback won't block God's favor? Your setback won't stop God's strength. Your setback won't stop God's blessing. Get ready to bounce back and thrive some more. After the divorce, you can thrive some more. After the layoff, you can thrive some more. After the sickness, you can thrive some more. After the surgery, you can thrive some more. They talked about you, you can thrive some more. They lied on you, but you can thrive some more. Is there anybody here who knows that God will? Won't He make a way for you? Is there anybody who knows that God will? Won't He open new doors for you? Is there anybody here who knows that God will? Won't He turn things around for you? Won't He make things better for you? I ought to have a witness in the room. I ought to have a few drivers in the room. I ought to have a few drivers in the room. Everybody bounce back and thrive and some more. Y'all be a witness for me. When you look at somebody and say, I ain't always had what I got now. I ain't always been where I am now. Tell somebody I experienced some setbacks. But what you're looking at now is somebody who bounced back and thrived and some more. Y'all open your mouth and say, I'm getting ready to bounce back and thrive some more. Y'all ain't seen the best of me yet. Y'all ain't seen the greatest of me yet. I'm getting ready to bounce back and I'm going to thrive some more. Would you give God a high five some more praise? I said open your mouth and give God a high five some more praise. Come on, give God a high five some more praise. Come on, open your mouth and say, I'm bouncing back. I'm bouncing back. I'm bouncing back. I'm bouncing back. Say it. I'm bouncing back. Say it. I'm bouncing. Y'all ain't saying it enough. Say I'm bouncing back. And I'm getting ready to thrive some more. Now would you do me one last favor? Would you shout like you know that God is about to restructure, reset, reestablish your whole life? Somebody give Him praise. Yeah. Come on, somebody. Shout like you believe. Oh, I wish I had some drivers in the building. Y'all, I need about 2 drivers. I don't need that many. I just need about 2 drivers to praise Him. Like you know He's able. Some of them want to say, I'm one of them. I'm one of them drivers. I bounce back. And I'm getting ready to thrive some more. Y'all better watch out this year because I'm coming back. I'm bouncing back. And I'm getting ready to thrive some more. The door for the church is open. There may be somebody, I don't know. There may be somebody who may want to be a member of this church who just needs special prayer. We fall down. We get up. We fall down. We get up. We fall down, but we get up. The altar's open. For a saint is just a sinner who fell down and got up. All over the building said, we fall down, but we get up. I'm getting ready to rise again. Oh God, I'm getting ready to bounce back. For a saint, who fell down back up again. So you can get back up again. So you can get back up again. You can get back up again. So get back up again. Oh, you can get up. Oh, you can get up. Y'all do it like this for me. You can get up. You can get up. Say you can get up. You can get up. You can get up. You can get up. Oh, you can get up. You can get up. Oh, watch me get it. It's my time. It's my time. It's my time. Come on, y'all, point to yourself. So watch me get it. Watch me get it. Y'all laughing at me, but watch me. Y'all talking about me, but watch me. Criticizing my journey. Making me feel like I'll never survive. Making me feel like I can't go on. Oh, that old enemy got me thinking that I can't go on. So y'all, I got a testimony that, oh, just watch me get it. Oh, 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 it's my time. It's about my time.